Good morning, pregame crew. Welcome to the pregame show. It is Friday, September 30th, 2022, 6:21 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:21 a.m. Eastern Time. I will get started with the show in 9 minutes, where I'll get started with indices, commodities, crypto, movers and shakers of the day. Between now and then, I'm going to say hello to my friends, do an audio visual check, and maybe do a few chart requests. Good morning and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Hit that like button, please. Thank you, Night Truck. I can always count on you. You've got a friend in me. I laugh every time I pull up chat and it says chat publicly as chart guys. Slow mode is on. I'm like, no, I don't need slow mode on the brain. I need fast mode. Like, that's describing me this morning. What a long week. Good morning, Night Truck, Greg, Carlos, ER, Onik, Matthew, Ram, Mal. You are one funny dude. ER, thank you. Yep, I'll try. Hey, Train Man. Hey, Casey. You know what, Casey? That is funny. DNA was one of my potential names this morning. Excuse my long list over here. I had it on my list. Oh, there it is. Right there, because Aunt Kathy's been buying, and we had a daily inside bar. And it's just a high risk name because it's a small cap, but I thought buying the 309, the hourly 50 MA, was possibly a good idea. So we'll go ahead and take a look at it. I'll leave it up now. Let me finish saying hello. Hey, Eli. Hey, chart guy Jason. Day trader Samwise MWM. What's up, homie? Hey, Top Motion Hector. I'll try. You know what? I like to have fun with y'all. I like to say hello to y'all, but your time is the most important asset you have. So let me jump into charts immediately. I'll go through your chart requests, as many as I can, in the next 7 minutes. I'll probably do 6 minutes because I need to stop before this says 6:30 down here. We'll have PCE data, and that's a very important tool that the Fed uses to measure inflation, and it could impact the market. My gut tells me we're going to have a fireworks kind of day, not necessarily to reaction to the PCE, but end of the week, end of the month, end of the quarter. We just got a lot going on, and I'm expecting some volatility today. All right, so DNA. So daily inside bar, daily higher high. We don't have a trend change yet. We're above all daily key EMAs. Hourly is testing the 50 MA, and I think let's see, is there another level of prior resistance we could use? You see how this held over here, here. So I think this 309 area could be a decent bottom fish area. Who asked me about this one? Casey. I think that could be a decent area for you to try. Okay, Adam. USD, did you specify? Is it? I lost it. Okay, I'll do Coinbase. We have 4-hour inside bars, resistance 13.10.2, support 12.822. Daily, we're below the daily 50 MA. This is probably a potential 12-hour bear flag, I bet. Yep. Potential 12-hour bear flag. We have the EMAs overhead. We have declining bull volume on this little slight bounce up. Hourly uptrend. As long as the hourly remains in an uptrend, I would say I would give a little bit more credibility to the bulls, but overall, I have to remember this potential bear flag on the 12-hour time frame, and these higher highs may not get a lot of follow through. If I'm a bear on Atom, or if I could trade bearish Atom, I would be looking to top fish 13.126. Okay, morning. That one. ATAI. Potential daily bear flag, it would confirm below 314. Then below that, your next support is 304 and 295. Hourly trap below the EMAs. Bears will be looking to top fish 336. Aggressive bulls would be looking to bottom fish 317. I don't like this action. I don't like it. Okay, I would call it a weekly double bottom at this point, 314, 315. So I think that's a pretty impressive hold by the bulls considering the weakness in this overall chart. When you see these types of EMAs, let me get my drawing thing again. When you see these types of EMAs, meaning that they're separated and the slope of the EMA, the SOTIMA, is pointing down in such a severe, sharpened way, You look to short bounces, just stay with the larger trend. Counter trend trading is difficult. Doesn't mean it's not possible, and it can be some of the most profitable trades you take in your career or counter trend trades where you hit a home run. They can be awesome. However, it's very difficult to master that type of trading. If you're a newer trader or you're inconsistently profitable trader, I would stay with the trend. Stay with it. Everybody tries to be cute. Not everybody, but a lot of people try to be cute and be contrarian, and you just get smacked around by the market. And I speak from experience. I think I'm smarter than the market. Everybody's all bull, I'll top fish this. Or everybody's all bear, I'm going to step in and buy it. And you just get ran over and ran over and ran over. You're like, okay, dummy, pick yourself up and stop doing that. Just go with the trend. So that's my best advice for the day I probably will give is stay with the trend. I got a message. Let me make sure everything's working. Okay. Now let me find my chat. I lost it. So on ATAI, I would look to top fish bounces. And if you want to try to bottom fish that weekly double bottom, I think it's a nice risk to reward, high probability of getting stopped out. Yeah, USO is terrible. Ken, same thing with Generac. Look at Generac. It had a pop into the hurricane. And then once it landed, it was priced in once the hurricane landed. I agree with you. It doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes, but this was the run into Ian and then it just pulled back. The fundamental stories don't always have to make sense. We have to always remind ourselves of that. USO is pulling back this morning. I'll go over oil and the futures. It'll give you a little more insight into this, but we're looking for a 4-hour. Let me make it easy on myself. We're looking for a daily higher low compared to 63.15. Hourly EMAs are overhead now. We're fighting to potentially hold the 50 EMA. It doesn't look very promising right now. I have oil up on another screen and it doesn't look good at all. Okay, we have PCE in 2 minutes. 2 minutes? Okay, so ES is spiking. Yeah, it's coming back in. So let's go look at ES. I think I have a good show for you today. We'll see. Y'all can tell me after. Was it a good one or not? Resistance at 369.375 and support 364.025. And what's providing clarity for me is 6 hour. The 6 hour, we're expecting a lower high compared to 37.51. So this is a nice bounce overnight. Okay, it's green, whatever. Still expecting a 6 hour lower high. We've had these megaphones drawn on so many different patterns. This is yesterday's drawing from the 4 hour. We had it drawn on Google, on Amazon, on VIX, on ES. We saw it everywhere and it came to fruition. But this has been a pretty tight range that we started on Monday. And I know we're breaking out higher highs and lower lows, but they're not getting follow through. And that's just creating this squeeze. You see that? And again, I'm expecting some volatility today. The 50 RSI has been resistance on the 4 hour. We barely got above it here and then came back in. If we could break through that 4 hour 50 RSI, I would expect a few fireworks. I don't know, Corey. I don't know if we could see an uptrend in QQQ. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Anything's possible, but right now I must stick with the trend, which is down. Initial bearish. Okay, my order just filled on my MU cover. I'm shorting Micron pre-market. Sorry, I had a trade I needed to manage a little bit. Okay, your next support, 3640, 364025. If we lose that, we've lost the hourly uptrend. Do or die moment right here, right now. And then on the next bounce, we're expecting an hourly lower high. So this pullback has not set up the bulls very well on the hourly chart, meaning the retrace was too great. And now we've set ourselves up for an hourly lower high. And if I find myself trying to predict at any point in this show what's going to happen today, someone reach through the screen and slap me around, because right now, gun to head, I have no idea what to expect today, bull or bear. I'm just going to have a game plan for either one. I'm really going to watch this hourly trend and get clues from that and market internals. And then I have a few notes. I actually have a lot of notes off screen that I copy and paste and I share with TCG members once I'm done with the show. I share them with this chat with YouTube once a week. So let's get started with the show. And then I'll go to my other notes that I am going to show you. This is who I am, Chart Gal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community and we teach technical analysis. If you want to give me a follow on Twitter, that'd be great. If you're interested in my chart setup, you can click on the link below. Okay, we're recovering. You can click on the link below in the video description to receive a PDF explanation as to what all these colors are. We also have a video on YouTube, how to set up your chart like Lori or Dan. So what a day. We have a lot going on. But let's just kind of get ourselves oriented to what's going on in the market. I went through what I consider all the key charts. Who hasn't lost June lows? Who has lost June lows? And who is the most important? If you remember, I'm sure you do, that showed you that weighting for those of you who were here yesterday, that weighting of how I judge things, what I give more weight to. Well, I would say a lot of these names I give more weight to than these names. Y'all know I like semiconductors, so that's a hard one to call. But who's the most important? And the ones that have lost June lows, we're not seeing a lot of follow through on most of these. Like ES, we're not seeing a lot of follow through. XLF looks like a broadening formation. Lots of broadening formations down here, meaning that lower lows without follow through. So is it key and can we glean information that these key players, NASDAQ, Bitcoin, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, those are some big boys. XLV, healthcare, and consumer discretionary are still holding their June lows. And I think I'm funny on Friday mornings, I guess. We're going to learn today. We're going to pull a Kevin Hart. We're going to learn today who is the most important. Are these key holds, are they going to give us information as to potential bull canary in the short term for a decent bounce? XBI is not an important player for me, but I will show you. Let's see. It has not lost a June low. So we could keep going and going and going. These are just like the major charts that I monitor. All right. Hi, everybody. Hey, Abram. Hey, Andrew. All right, let's get started with indices and let's look at some major market moving metrics. So dollar yesterday, it was very telling that the market was having a major meltdown yesterday. The dollar was having a major meltdown and the market couldn't get a bounce going without the Dixie headwind. Dollar strength creates headwinds for equities. That headwind was gone. Why didn't we bounce? It's like they left the door open for us to bounce, the bulls, the market, and we didn't take advantage of it. That was telling. That was a major bear. It wasn't divergence because the market was bear, but it was just a major checkpoint. What happens when the dollar starts bouncing? If the market can't even get a bounce going while dollar's taking a breather. So on the 4 hour, we've lost the uptrend. I think this can still be a bear flag. I measured it earlier. Yep, still can be a bear flag. We're up underneath the 4 hour 50 MA looking for a 4 hour lower high. So market bulls, this is good for you. If dollar can set that 4 hour lower high and roll over again, you're going to get another opportunity to jump through that window. So I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to come before you to stand behind you and tell you something I know nothing about. Bonds. If you're here for a macro lesson, you are at the wrong show. I'm not your girl. You're here for technical analysis, I'm your girl. However, I am going to dip my foot into the bond world real quick. And I just pulled up some fun facts here on the bond market. Why do I keep losing chat? Okay, the bond market is much larger than the stock market. Bonds have exploded in popularity and has tripled in size and now exceeds $100 trillion. The S&P puts the global value of stock market at 64 trillion. In the US alone, bond markets make up almost 40 trillion in value compared to less than 20 trillion. So it's double the size of the stock market. And look at this. trading volume is more than 3.5 times or triple the volume. Let's read it exact instead of paraphrasing. Trading volume in bonds dramatically exceeds stock market volume, with nearly 700 billion in bonds traded on a daily basis compared to stocks that trades 200 billion per day. Huge. Now let me show you the bond chart. I mean, that is some systematic selling. Look, we didn't barely even got RSI oversold till down here. And this traded down started trading down 1st of August. So for 2 months, it's been trading to the downside and has not even gotten over the 8 EMA. Remember, I use a quick EMA. I use the 8. This isn't the 12, and it can't even get over that. It's zapping it. And I thought every time a candle comes up and touches the 8 EMA, this is what the 8 EMA does to bond prices. Boom, boom, boom. Just totally killing it. Just playing pure whack-a-mole with bond prices. We need bonds to get up off the mat because the bond market's way more important than the stock market. It needs to find a temporary bottom and get a meaningful bounce going. Now look at this 4-hour. We have this EQ, we broke bull, and we're running into the Great Wall of China. The 4-hour 50 MA. We need to pull back, get another higher low, and let's get something going in the bond market. If the bonds could put in a temporary local bottom or temporary low, that would be a great equity tailwind for the markets to say, okay, get your cue from the bonds. They're putting in a local low. Now it's time for you to put in a local low. So again, I'm not a macro expert, but I hope that helps a little bit explain what's going on. Again, this daily chart is just unbelievable with this 8 EMA totally controlling price. All right, dollar 4-hour, we talked about that. We need it to roll over for market bulls. ES 6-hour lower high is anticipated. I'm using the 6 hours, just helping me sort things out. I want to delete that. Can't stand when the chart's messy. And yet I'm the one who makes it a mess. So we're inside the prior 6-hour bar. We're looking for 6-hour lower high compared to 37.51. So for me, I think top fishing is going to be a day trader scalper's paradise for bears today, is top fishing 15-minute lower highs, looking for that 6-hour lower high. All right, so NQ, we lost that 11180, and ES didn't. So that time ES saved NASDAQ for now. The NASDAQ broke that low. We hit 1116450, and now the low of this little reaction becomes the most important level of our day. NASDAQ needs to hold that, or the market could have some more incoming pain. We have the hourly 50 MA, Great Wall of Louisiana overhead, and it totally zapped price, played whack-a-mole, bonked it on the head, and then we just made a lower low. And odds favor a lower high on the next bounce, and then that, stay with me now, that next hourly bounce, closer to resistance, represents a great area to top fish that potential 6-hour lower high. I hope that makes sense. So we get our larger time frame analysis structure and we get it in our head, and then we start zooming into lower time frames to find a location for entry. I don't know if y'all have ever scouted hunting, and I'm sorry if this is offensive to you. We hunted and we ate the game that my dad or that we would kill because I grew up kind of poor. So you would go scout these hunting locations. You're constantly scouting. What's a good spot? It's, is this a deer trail? Do we have evidence of any hoof prints? So we're scouting a location to go hunting today and go bull sniping or bear sniping. And I think bears have an edge today. Well, they've had an edge all year. So that's, hello, Captain Obvious. They've had an edge all year. So I think we stay with that theme as long as the hourly 50 MA is over NASDAQ. And then we're looking for that hourly lower high. Bulls have a chance if 11164 stays in place. I think inverse. TBT is inverse TLT. That's the inverse. Okay, RTY. And I typically go through 25 charts in 25 minutes in an efficient manner. I'm going slow on certain points today because I want to make sure that I articulate and I do the topic or the chart justice today. So again, RTY, we had a big pullback. Next bounce, we're looking for a potential hourly lower high. But notice where price is on RTY relative to the hourly 50 MA. We're below it now, but we got above it here. NASDAQ couldn't. Why? Because our general, Apple, you know, the last person to go down in a war, the very last person to go down is the general, because they start at the front line, then they go to lieutenants, then they go to the captains, then they go to the majors, then they hit the general. Yes, I know rank in the Army. My ex-husband was Army. But the generals are the last to go down. Well, Apple has been holding up like a champ for months and propping up this market. Apple had a major, major, major down day yesterday. Apple is super important. I say I'm not going to show my notes, and then I end up showing my freaking notes. So I'm doing it anyway. Happy Friday. Happy September 30th. So Hang Seng closed slightly green, and DAX is up approximately 0.4%. We got that PCE data. Nike earnings were pretty terrible. They showed their increasing inventory. They guided down. They are down, last I looked, 11%. That's a huge component of consumer discretionary. And consumer discretionary has Amazon and Tesla in it as well. And it is my opinion, oh, I didn't put Apple here. If I'm looking for my leaders today, who am I watching? I'm watching bonds, Tesla, James Bond, Tesla, semiconductors, Apple, and the dollar. Those are the 5 things I'm watching today. I can't tell you how important it is that Tesla holds that double bottom. Super important that Tesla holds the double bottom today and that Apple gets up off the mat. I didn't do the math, but a 5% down day in Apple, 2.29 trillion. So, I mean, it lost a huge component of its market cap yesterday. That is a major down day to bring an almost a $2.29 trillion company down 5%. Kudos, bulls. Bears, dang it. Bears. Okay, let me go back to my notes. So we talked about ES, RTY. Let's go to YM. Weekly 200 MA is key for me. And now that is 370 points overhead. I should have added that to my list. I'm going to type that out too. YM is typically a chart I don't pay a lot of attention to, but I think it's super important today that we get back over that weekly 200 MA. Now let's go look at ES and its location compared to the weekly 200 MA. You see we're over it. It's not threatened at the moment. NASDAQ, we're sitting on it, 11180. We need to close over it today because that would end the week. RTY is below it. It's lost it. And Dow needs to get back up over it again, 370 points away. And I think that's going to be a key metric today as well, something we will be watching. And our monthly candles, they shape the close today. They're going to shape that candle. How are we going to close today? It's important. It's super, well, I guess all the days are important, but it's important how we finish. So on YM, 29549 is your key resistance, and 29145 is your key support. RTY 1705 is your key resistance, support 1673. So it looks like NASDAQ was the only one to lose its hourly higher low in that pullback, and it's recovering very well right now. If we see a bull morning, I need to stop and say this. If we see a bullish morning, we could have a bull trend day. I would look for short covering into the end of the week, end of the month, end of whatever. If bears have been shorting something all month, they may want to tidy up their books on September 30th and say, okay, end of month, end of quarter, let's do some window dressing. Let's close this and make my gains look really good and tie a bow on it. So if we see a bullish morning, it could pick up steam quickly with short covering. Just remember that if you're a bear, which is still my overall lean, don't be stubborn and hard-headed about it. You'll get ran over. Okay, we did all that. VIX. Crypto grapple. I know, for real. All right, so VIX hourly lower high, the more likely scenario. Let's look at this 4 hour. So typically for a head and shoulders, you don't want the right side to break the neckline. When it does in a very exaggerated fashion, it still could be a diamond bearish reversal pattern. So if you wanted to call this a 4 hour head and shoulders, I wouldn't get mad at you. If you wanted to call it a 4 hour diamond bearish reversal pattern, I wouldn't get mad at you. Either way, it's a bearish pattern. That is bullish for the market. If VIX can roll over and lose that 30.03, and remember we have a double top up here, $34.88 and $35, that would be bullish for the market if we could just go ahead and continue this hourly downtrend. Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin broke the 4 hour inside bars bearish, but it's still in this EQ. Higher high, 203.8315. Lower low, 18487. Lower high, 19773. Higher low, 18845. Now new lower high set at 188. Oh, one. Let me get that level. 1969972. Now we have plenty of room for a 4 hour higher low compared to 18845. And in my notes, I have this could give us market clues as to how this breaks. Now those 4 hour inside bars broke bear, but we're still inside this EQ. This becomes, well, dang it, now I got to add Bitcoin to my list of important charts. So I got too many important charts. Come on, let me make that bigger. There we go. Super important chart today is how this breaks. It could give us clues for NASDAQ. Is NASDAQ going to hit that higher probability and set a 6 hour lower high, or is it going to go against probabilities and go get a higher high? Remains to be seen. Super important chart. You have your levels here. As always, if you're like, you didn't call out that level, look at these light gray numbers over here on this legend axis, and it'll give you the support and resistances that I have marked up. Let me give you one more. 18487. So Bitcoin, tighter she goes. Ethereum, tighter she goes. We have resistance at 135244, 135534, support 1288 and 1253. We're holding that 4 hour 50 MA pretty well, and bulls are recovering from that PCE pull down. So we came here, we've got a 5 minute lower low, but they're recovering nicely. Aw, Night Truck, you're so nice. Okay. Gold. Gold has an hourly uptrend. Well, you better, gold. Dollar rolled over yesterday, and finally you took advantage of that. Gold took advantage of it, but not the equities. Gold took advantage of dollar weakness. And so the boomer indicator is working, y'all. The monthly 50 MA at 1647. We're going to close this month over it as things stand. It would have to be something dramatic to happen today for this monthly candle to not close over that 50 MA. That's a pretty important moment for gold bugs. You have a 4 hour uptrend, and on the next pullback, you're looking for a 4 hour higher low compared to 1649, just like we're looking for a 4 hour lower high on gold, because they're working inverse as they should. And charts don't always work as they should. Okay, oil's recovering. Oil was pulling back pretty hard this morning. We got an hourly lower low now. You have on the next bounce, we're looking for a lower high compared to 82.56. And your next support is not down to 76.55. So context, we're looking for a daily higher low on oil. We're looking for it. 4 hour, we just lost a support. It's a support. I wouldn't call it a pivot support, but let's call it a support nonetheless. We lost it. And bulls are fighting here to get back over those 4 hour EMAs because they lost it when they lost 80.34. We know oil and nat gas have tendencies to break resistance and support and then not get the follow through. So we are looking for that daily lower high, and bulls need to change the hourly trend or at least 15-minute trend in order to put in that potential daily higher low. So a 15-minute bottom fish of $80 makes sense on the next pullback for me. We have the Baker Hughes rig count today. I forget the time, like 12:30 Central or something. So if you're trading oil, go look that up. It can sometimes cause volatility. Nat gas, potential daily bear flag continues. I don't see a trade here. I don't see it. This is a tough chart for me. I haven't been able to trade it this week. If anything, I would just look to top fish, see these tiny higher highs not getting followed through. That's indicative of a bear flag on a higher time frame. So 715 is the 4-hour 50 MA. Possibly top fishing up there makes sense, but otherwise it's in no man's land for me personally. All right, Apple, let me get some water. Okay, what time is it? 9 minutes. I think it's Lamont who's live this morning in our chat room. We go live 3 times a day at a minimum, and we answer all of your chart requests, all your heart's desires, either in chat or on live video 3 times a day. So I go over my 4 regulars every morning: Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, Tesla, and then I have my 4 chart setups that I like. And let me tell you, Monday, Tuesday, we knocked it out the park. Wednesday, Thursday were not my shining star days. So let's hope Friday we close strong. Our Queen of the Mountains hit today, and then we won the majority of the week. Okay, so Apple, 4-hour lower high is on the docket. So on any bounce, we're looking for a 4-hour lower high. This chart does not give me a ton of faith in bulls overall. We need Apple to get its ish together. It needs to get it together. And maybe opening a lower daily could get oversold. Maybe that's what the bulls are waiting for to buy this dip. Next support is 140 psychological below yesterday's low, and then 136.93, and so on. The general has to put up a good fight today. We need the general to fight, fight, fight. I'm going to sneeze 1 second. Allergies are killing me. All right, so Amazon bulls have enough room for a 4-hour higher low above yesterday's low if the markets have a bullish tone. I can like whatever setup I want and just make it sound wonderful, but if the markets don't cooperate, it's all crap. And we have these diamond bullish reversal patterns forming down here on a lot of charts. So yesterday it looked like a megaphone: higher highs without follow through, lower lows without follow through, when in fact it could be a diamond bullish reversal pattern. That's a bottoming formation. It could be forming down here where we get a bounce. The problem for Amazon today, it's got 2 flies in the ointment. We got 2 flies in the ointment, which means 2 problems, 2 hurdles. Nike earnings. We have Nike earnings. So Nike is here. And Nike's down over 11%. I'll need to look at it to get a recent update. Look where Amazon and Tesla is. It's part of XLY, consumer cyclical, consumer discretionary. That's a fly in the ointment for Amazon. Yes, Amazon's not Nike, but whatever problems Nike's having, wouldn't you think Amazon would be having it too, increasing inventory? And Tesla's here as well. So we got 2 big problems for Amazon set up very well for a decent bounce. I like it. But I hope the Nike headwinds don't keep it down. And then Tesla has this daily double bottom. So we hit the low 26574, and yesterday we hit 26578. This is so important. So I'm going to write it out here. Let's get our tattoo. Because Tesla, Apple, NEO, oil, and nat gas tend to break resistances and support and then reverse. They fall below, or break above and then reverse, and they trap you. So I'm saying 265.50. I will give it all the way to 265.50, and I would consider it a triple bottom today if it were to hit that level. This is everything here. Everything. Market bulls need this to hold. Amazon needs this to hold. Nvidia has enough room for hourly higher low compared to yesterday's low. I'm hearing comments or reading comments about a potential falling wedge. You don't want these falling wedges, as Jason has taught me. You don't want these falling wedges to get the kind of follow through it's been getting. I mean, I see the point. I see the pattern. It's just, if we just characterize it for what it is, let's just call it what it is: lower lows, lower highs and lower lows. And bulls have proven nothing, absolutely nothing. But I would say today's the day. Get your act together. Snap, snap. Get your act together. And Micron had bad earnings and guided down. So I've been shorting this. Was my trade that I had on earlier. I shorted it after hours last night, and I'm shorting it this morning. Micron could have a huge impact to NVIDIA and how it resolves. Nike's down 12%. So CCL had earnings this morning, and they're up 2%. So CCL, Nike, and MU, for any of you earnings ninjas, if you want to get on those, Nike and MU should give you especially Nike should give you the most volatility. Let me get back up to my regulars. Okay, Google. Google hourly EQ. This is nice and tight here. It's not nice and tight. I'm probably exaggerating there, but I'm looking for bottom fish against yesterday's low, 95.96 on Google. Google bulls have proven absolutely nothing, like literally nothing. But that was a nice hammer yesterday, hammer time. So I'm looking for a potential hourly higher low compared to 95.96 SAVA. SAVA daily inside bar yesterday, and this sucker's getting tight. And my new word is I like to call this barcoding. And it kind of, when it looks like a barcode because it's just going sideways. And look at that squeeze. It's below the 50 RSI. So in theory, the preceding trend, well, it's not in theory, this is in reality. The preceding trend on the daily is up. So the daily trend is up. But when I look at the hourly, this is a pretty big pullback. And then we're trapped under the EMAs, trapped under the 50 RSI. Odds favor for this to break to the downside. That's what the odds favor. Either way, if it breaks to the upside or downside, it could have some really nice follow through for the ninjas. And then finally, TTD. This is my favorite setup. Oh, if the bulls could get going today. Did we fill that gap? Yeah, that was the one thing I didn't like about the setup is we didn't fill that gap. That 55.93, we missed it. We hit, the gap is at 55.57. I wish it would have filled that gap. But either way, do you see this squeeze and clear downtrend line that you can see from Mars? So we have a daily inside bar. We have daily inside bar. Oh, I actually had I have another one for you. I'm looking at my notes. Things are tightening up with this daily inside bar, and I like a bottom fish against yesterday's low, 59.57. The other one I had for you is United Healthcare, which I really like this one too. TTD and United Healthcare are my favorite. We have a daily inside bar. We have a squeeze. We're trapped under the daily 50 RSI. 4-hour tight squeeze, and 4-hour EQ. I like this one. I like this one to the long side. I like TTD to the long side. I like Sava to the downside and Google to the long side. And Amazon to the long side, but the market needs to cooperate or we got nothing, absolutely nothing. You're welcome, Mal. I will have a great weekend. My son's coming into town. We had our daughter just left, our 19-year-old. She just flew out this morning, and then I have my son coming tomorrow with his girlfriend, so coming from out of state. Super excited. All right. Thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate it. Go give me a follow on Twitter at ChartGalLori. Check us out at chartguys.com. We have a monthly membership if you just want to jump in there for a month and see what all the crazy hype is about. Check us out. All right. Y'all take care and use stop losses.